Let's talk about 666. What is 666, you ask? It's not what you think. 666 is referring to a woman's standards. Now, tell them, read what the article.
Well, the article is saying the 6 fix about dating. They want like 6 feet tall, six pack, or six figures, which amplified more than it
Through
reflects
social
the
media.
real world dating, which is kind of out of reach sometimes.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like it has went viral. Okay. Now I know we've all seen it. You see a lot of the articles, the things that go viral are the negative things, like women saying they need a man that makes six figures because they're already making money. But I wanted to touch on one part of that article when it was about the who's making the six figures.
Oh, here so they said a majority rely check that the six-figure income are still a minority, which means only 18 to 20% of individuals in the U.S. Makes $100,000 or more. And roughly 69% of those are men. So if women truly want to go by that and refuse a man to date under six figures, majority of relationships wouldn't even happen.
Yeah. So let me say this. My husband is not 6 feet. Maybe a 4-pack, not a 6-pack. And as far as the income, we are in the six-figure range. Now, let me say this, but that starting out when I met him, it was not like that. Okay. So what I wanted to touch on is a lot of people will miss out on their soulmate. They will literally miss out on their soulmate. And I want to tell you why you might miss out on your soulmate. Okay, story time. So give you a little bit of a backstory with me and my husband. So when we met, we actually met in college. And let's just say that we met, but nothing became of it, right? So when we finally did get together, which was a year after we first met, let me tell you, 2 weeks into us re-meeting,
I lost my job.
He lost his job. Car broke down. He had to move back in with his parents.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you, my family was like, why are you with him? He's not working. I said, well, he just got laid off. Then they would say, well, he doesn't have a car. Okay. His car just broke down. Okay. And they would say, well, in the past, you've dated guys that had money. Like they didn't want for anything. You didn't want for anything. Okay. Well, I see potential in this guy. Well, I just think you should just move on. Maybe y'all should be friends.
And I heard her mama talk about me. Literally, I'm downstairs and she's upstairs telling me why you with this.
But now listen, she did apologize.
Yeah, she apologized
y'all.
years later.
She keeps apologizing too.
Her sisters did too. They both talked about me in my face. But guess what? It didn't bother me.
Yeah. Okay. So both of my sisters have passed away. They're no longer with us. But they did apologize as well.
Oh, yeah.
Later on, they apologized because everybody ended up loving him. Okay. Loving him. They didn't see what I saw. Okay. This is what you have to look at. When you have people in your ear telling you, oh, this person's not good enough. Oh, you've dated better, but you're the one spending time with them. You're the one seeing them every day. When I tell y'all, I saw so much potential in this man.
And like you said,
smart, highly intelligent. To me, that's very attractive. That is an attractive trait. Somebody being very, very smart. It is to me. And
it's been 30 years. So we've been together over 30 years, 32 years.
32 years. But I'm going to say the potential that he had. And then not only that, we were yoked. He came from a family. My mom and dad had been married for over 45 years. His was married for over 45 years. Yep. My dad has since passed. His mom has passed. Yes. Now his dad did remarry, My mom has not, but we came from, we were yoked. And if you don't know what yoke means spiritually, we had the same beliefs. We both were raised in a Christian household. So that was good. And the things that we talked about, when you're in a relationship, you talk about things. I'm going to tell you, the signs are always there. You already know when it's not going to work out. You go through the honeymoon phase, but little signs will, how people say, well, I didn't know. You knew. You knew. There are always signs. I don't care how good of an actor or actress a person is, they always show you who they are. Don't ever second guess it. When they say something or they act a certain way, you better start thinking and listening and thinking. Because when you're starting the relationship, and if it's somebody that you really want, you're going to say all the things that they want to hear.
Yeah. Another thing also, we started out as friends, and that was the best part of it. We was friends.
Yeah, we talked a lot.
We talked a lot about everything. So basically, that helped us knew who we were with each other. And then another main thing I can think of is communication. I mean, whether you like what somebody's saying, they have to say it the correct way, but we have to learn to do that. But
yes, because his deliverance, y'all, was not that good. Yes. He said mine wasn't good either, but that's at the beginning.
But communication is main communication. So that's when we start out. Like we talked about everything.
We talked.
And sometimes I might hurt her feelings, or she might hurt my feelings, but you also got to let them know that. So they let them know so they can be able to come with the truth. Right. The right way with the truth.
Exactly. You don't. I always tell people when they're in an argument, we have a lot of people that seek out advice from us. This is what led us to write the book, y'all. This is what led us to write the book, because everybody, I had one.
We got an ebook out that we wrote, and like I said, that is actually part of our 30 years of marriage combined, and it was basically 10 things in there that we try to correct or try to do, basically. And basically, like I said, now, but let's get back to the 6 figure, 6 abs, and 6 feet tall. I'm not 6 feet tall. I do have 6.
More than that.
It's 6 abs.
Yeah.
And the 6 figures that came along. It took some time, but we are at that stage right now.
You can build.
You can build that way, and that's what probably people have. They're saying, "This is yours. This is mine." It has to be together because
that separate bank account thing. Throw it out. Throw it out. And we're gonna talk about that too, y'all.
When you're married, it's a team thing.
Ain't no you. It's us. Us. Ain't no me in team. It's just team. Okay. So, and I feel like a lot of times, which we're going to touch, I don't even want to cover it right now because it's so much into the separate bank accounts. Okay. And I'm telling you what has worked for us. All that sneaking, that separate bank account stuff. Nah, we ain't doing that over here. That's one of the things that is not allowed. We don't do that. But I wanted to get back to the signs. Okay. I had a friend tell me, we were best friends since elementary. And she met a guy around the same time that me and him got together. And she said, I want your honest opinion. She said he proposed. And I mean, I love him, but I don't love him like that. And the sex is terrible. She said, what should I do? She said, I mean, I accepted the proposal. I said, you did? And she said, yeah, I mean, he did it in front of my family. So, which is why a lot of people accept the proposal. But anyway, let's get back to it. So she said, what do you think? And I gave her my honest opinion. I said, don't do it. She said, but you don't think we can survive just off love? I said, love will never be enough because there's more to it than that. I said, when you say the sex is bad, how bad is it? And she said, it's terrible. She said, he only thinks of himself. it's terrible. Well, let's fast forward. They're not married anymore. But now they got married. And the marriage was volatile. It was toxic and it was volatile because there was some abuse going on too. He ended up, he had some issues other than the sex not being well. He became physical with her and she just couldn't do it anymore. She couldn't do it anymore. And they ended up ending the marriage because of the abuse. It wasn't, now that was a big, that right there, the sex thing in the marriage being terrible, that was one of the issues, but that wasn't the main issue. He also ended up having a drug issue as well, but which I think caused the violence in the marriage. Now I ran into that guy. He had to be about 5 years later, maybe. It could have been 4. I don't even know. It was in anywhere between 3 and 5 years after the divorce. And I ran into him. I was doing private security, and he just so happened to be doing private security. And he said, "Hey, can I talk to you for a minute?" And I was like, "Yeah, we can talk." And he was like, "I just wanted you to know, I feel like if you would have still been in my ex's life around the time that everything hit rock bottom, I feel like we would have still been together." And I didn't know, I really didn't even know how to respond to that. But I talked to my husband about it. And I said, I think he might blame me or something. And then he told me, he came back, because I guess he could see that I was looking crazy. And he came back and he said, what I mean by that is, you were a good counselor for us. Now, y'all, I'm not a counselor. I'm not a marriage counselor or anything like that. But people would come to us for marital advice or relationship advice. So, and he said, you never were on one side. You were always in the middle. You heard everything out. And you basically gave us the truth because you knew both of us. And we were always able to work it out because you were always around. And he said, when y'all stopped talking, he said she was around people that just gave her the wrong advice. She had a lot of single friends, and I'm listening to him. But when we stopped talking, after the conversation was over, and me and my husband, we got by ourselves, and I told him, I said, he did that to himself, because any one time, it don't matter if I'd have been there when everything hit rock bottom or not. Any one time that you choose something over your marriage, which was a substance, okay, the outcome of that can be catastrophic, okay? It causes you to do things that you probably wouldn't normally do. So whether I was there or anybody else was there, because they saw spiritual counseling too. I think they talked to our pastor several times. But if you are willing to put that above your relationship, you have to save yourself. No one, ain't nobody coming to save you. It's called choices. And you have to make the right choices. It's 100. What do we say?
It's not such thing as
it's 50-50.
It's 100-100. But sometimes she'll carry me and sometimes I carry her. And that's just part of it.
And that particular friend did a lot of carrying, y'all. She did a lot of carrying. So it's almost to the point, a lot of times, depending on what happens in the relationship or the marriage, there's no coming back from that. And some people just don't have it in them. They just don't have it in them. But with that being said, I want to get back to why I said you might be missing out on your soulmate. The 666 thing, y'all. When I tell you the 6-figure thing, we got together. Like I said, we started out as friends. Mm-hmm. I guess, I don't even know if you would call it friends. Neither one of us was looking for anything, because when I met you, you were 2 years out of a divorce. Yes. So he definitely wasn't looking right away. We both decided, hey, and I wasn't looking for anything right away. And I'm going to tell you why. Because there's more to our relationship. So you have to stay tuned for all the story times, that the reason why I wasn't trying to move quickly.
Forward.
Okay. Yeah. So with that being said, he didn't have any of the things that most women are looking for. A lot of times you will come across a person and they may not be where you want them to be or where they want to be at that time in their life. But you have to look deep into their soul, y'all. You got to look deep into their soul and listen. Listen to what they're talking about. Like I said, signs are always there. You got to pay attention and listen. Don't just sit there and hear it. Listen to what they're saying to you, because that's going to determine whether or not you can have a future with that person. And I listened to him. I listened to what he wanted. I listened to like I said, we met in junior college, and he was taking up engineering at the time. So I already knew my baby was smart, y'all. I already knew he was smart. And like I said, that is one of the most attractive things to me, the mind, y'all. And so, and then he'd been in the military, Marines. Yeah, Marines. And like I said, he was married. He was 2 years out of a divorce when I met him. And he was dating quite frequently. And y'all, so we met a year. Okay, I met him a year before, but it wasn't our time. It was not our time. This man was, were you 2 years out or a year out then? You were 2 years out.
Probably almost 2 years out, yeah.
Okay, so he was sowing his wild oats, y'all. He was sowing his wild oats. So it wasn't, because he got married young. He was married at what? Right out of high school?
Right after I came out the Marine Corps boot camp. So basically I got married when I was probably 18, maybe 19.
Yes, so
and it lasts about 6 years.
Yeah. So he was ready to get out there and date, y'all. So it was not meant. God didn't line it up that way. He didn't line it up that way. Our meeting came right on time. When I say it came right on time, it came right on time.
And we'll talk about that reason why it took a year for that to actually come about.
Yeah. But
just like I said, we got a lot of stories and we got a lot of things we can tell you about our marriage advice. Being married for 32 years, and we made it work.
We made it work.
If you
still making it work.
Yeah. If you like this, like, subscribe, share, and stay tuned for more.
And y'all, hey, no fluff. Nope. No fluff. We're gonna give it to you raw. Yes. We're gonna tell you what worked for us. So the 666 ladies, don't look for that. Look for the soul. Look for the potential. If you are dating someone, and I don't care what your family say, if you see something in that person and y'all have the same things, the same, you're yoked, the same ideas, the same motivation. This man did not have 6 figures when I met him. He's not 6 feet tall. He's 5'11", y'all. He got a 4-pack abs.
6-pack.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
we ain't gonna.
Well, anyway, like I said, just like and subscribe and stay tuned for more.
Yeah. Thank you for tuning in.